Let's face it, we all want our homes to look like something out of a magazine, but getting decor that looks beautiful and can hold up to your family can be a challenge. So here with some tips on what we should be looking for when buying a new piece of furniture from Saybrook Country Barn in Old Saybrook. Keith Bowles, thank you so much for being here.
Well, it's great to be here, Sonia.
I think it can be a little overwhelming when you walk into a store, especially when you see all the fabric choices and the upholstery choices. So do upholstery trends change like fashion trends when it comes to furniture?
They do. We are technically in the fashion industry. Fabrics change often enough, and certain looks come and go. And you want to find something that you're comfortable with in your own home and maybe fits with the lifestyle that you lead. And we can help you do that. That's what our designers do.
So when it comes to style, should you be looking for, say, with larger items like a sofa or an armchair, styles that are more classic so that they last you a longer time?
Most of the time, that's what people look for. They are looking for something that will last them 10 years or so, because that's about the average somebody would keep their room before they might change the decor. And they usually work from the floor up. If they've got a beautiful rug they want to keep, then they might go into some, this is what I want to start with, and they'll work their way up. If they have an empty room, then we'll start with the floor and we'll work to the upholstery and we'll end up at the windows.
Okay, so you have something called full flow match fabric, right? What is that, first of all, and is that a good choice?
Well, full flow match fabric is really a way of applying a fabric to a frame. Now, if you just buy a solid fabric, which you would probably see in a lot of discount stores or somewhere else, then it doesn't really matter. There's no matching there. But when you buy an upper end fabric, you would want to make sure that the fabric matches. And what they do is they start at the top and they put it on, and if you look at this, you can see this vine that comes down, and it follows the pattern through, then it goes right across the cushion, and then it goes right down the skirt. So the pattern on this matches all the way through. It's called a full flow match.
Okay.
And that's really what you would get in an upper end piece of upholstery.
So that's something that you want to look for. Let's say we've found a piece of furniture that we love the look of. How do we know whether or not the quality is there? What should we look for?
Well, unfortunately, many people buy a piece of furniture and have no idea what's in it. They just know what's on it. And in our industry, we quite often say that people cover a multitude of sins with fabric. So you can build something that's very poor, cover it, make it look good for a short period of time, but very soon down the road it starts to deteriorate and you're saying, gee, it doesn't look like the day I bought it. Well, like all good pieces, they need to start with a good foundation.
Okay, I was going to ask you about that, because when I went shopping for a sofa, for a couch, the one big selling point everyone was saying was to get 8-way hand-tied. I had no idea what that meant. So that's an example of it. What is that?
This is a miniature version of what a chair might look like.
Okay.
Although a chair would have 9 of these springs.
Right.
But they would always start with a hardwood frame.
Okay.
And this is solid maple, not plywood or anything else. And the leg is actually attached into the frame. It's not a screw-on leg.
Like, you have an example of that?
I have an example here.
Okay.
If you ever see one of these, just try to walk away from it. These are very poor. They break quickly. They're plastic. They're just not worthy of good quality furniture.
Good to know.
So once you have a solid frame, which is like the foundation to your house, then they put in these 8-way hand-tied springs. And these springs, there's 9 of them, and that's what gives you the comfort in your sofa. When you sit down, that's what gives you what we call the ride on your cushion.
Because it balances it out?
It balances it out, and there's even distribution all the way through it. And this is the only way that real fine quality furniture would be made.
Okay,
something you really want to know.
What about cushions? What should we look for with cushions?
Well, in cushions, there's many different types. Quite often, it's a foam core wrapped with some Dacron and put into a case and then put into the cover of your choice. But quite often somebody would go with a down cushion or a down blend cushion with some foam and some feathers, and it just gives you a little different feel, and it gives you a little bit of a different firmness often. So it really is somebody's individual taste.
Now, what about buying wood pieces? Is it true that all the wood in a room has to match finish-wise? I know, because I went for darker wood, and so I just stuck with that.
Right. Well, quite often people like to at least have it blend. When we use the word match, some people get too close, but we have a lot of customers who have antiques, and they want to keep their family heirloom, but they want to add a few other pieces. So we try to get those things to blend. and you get a finish. It may come in, this piece may come in 3 or 4 finishes,
Okay.
color, so then you can match it up to what you already own and just get the style to blend.
And a piece like this, how can you tell if something like this is well constructed?
Well, here again, education is very important, and we try to educate the consumer. That's really what we try to do. So if you take a piece of furniture like this,
Okay.
and if you look at this, you can see that these drawers are dovetailed. You always want to get a dovetailed drawer on the front. There's 2 types of dovetail, an English dovetail, which you see here, and a French dovetail, but you must have one of those. And then the other features you look for are solid wood drawer sides, solid wood construction. Try to stay away from the veneers. Absolutely stay away from something they call MDF, which is medium density fiberboard. It just isn't worthy of any piece of furniture.
And if you can't recognize that, could you just ask and hopefully the salesperson will tell you
well,
whether or not it is?
We have a saying in our industry that if you don't know furniture, know your furniture store.
Okay.
Come in and ask, and a reputable dealer will explain to you how pieces are made. And that's very, very important. So if you don't know furniture, know who you're dealing with.
Also, another feature on the drawers are the drawer gliders, which is great.
These are called European self-closing drawer guides. So if you are one who sometimes just closes your drawer a little ways and leaves it open, this is something that wives love, because when you push it in and it hits a certain point, it automatically closes on itself. So you see these drawer glides in upper-end kitchens, and they just automatically close. So if you're running out of the house and you just push it, it's going to close uniform every time.
No, that's handy. And we're talking about the finish of this. You actually, this takes you through the finishing process. You have this example right back here, right?
It does. You start with some raw wood. You add several layers of stain to build it up to get it to the patina that you want. And then in today's industry, they have such durable top coats, finish coats. And most good furniture will have this.
That you did a stain test.
You did a stain test. We actually left nail polish remover on here for 30 minutes.
Which I did to a piece of my parents' furniture. They will never let me forget it. My mom reminds me all the time how I wrecked her kitchen table with nail polish remover.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Mom.
Yeah, well, that's something that you want to avoid if you can. We poured boiling water on that for 30 minutes.
And it was fine.
No effect.
It held up.
No effect whatsoever.
Listen, tell us about Saybrook Country Barn, because you guys expanded not too long ago, right?
We did. We added another 25,000 square feet to our store, and now we have 45,000 square feet. And in doing so, we opened many additional shops. We now have an apparel shop, which has cutting-edge fashion, all the different high-end name brands. We added a new rug shop. We added a new curtain shop. We added a restaurant. We added a hardware and lighting.
Wow, you really did expand. Listen, you can check all this out for yourself at Saybrook Country Barn. There's the information right there, or just come to our website, WTNH.com, and click on the Connecticut Style link. You guys are celebrating a big anniversary coming up, too.
32 years this week. In fact, our anniversary sale starts tomorrow.
Oh,
and
good
runs
to know.
all next week.